Cleveland Browns fans have been there through the hardest of times and some of the best of times since the team returned to the NFL in 1999. Who could forget when a soldier and a Wolverine lit the town on fire in 2007 with a 10-win season for the ages? From a Hail Mary touchdown pass by Tim Couch to secure the first victory of the new era, to a playoff victory led by Baker Mayfield over the hated Pittsburgh Steelers, this book captures it all. From wins over their rivals to wins in prime time with the world watching, we examine every big moment and every hard hit. First and 10, the latest read from veteran author Vince McKee, takes you through every high and low since the Cleveland Browns' return to the NFL and is now available everywhere books are sold, including Amazon. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance. If you want dealership quality at a fraction of the cost, visit Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance at 23779 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted, and you won't be disappointed. You need a repair shop that you can trust. They know the repair process is all about customer service. How they treat their customers is just as important, if not more important, than the quality of the services they provide. They are always willing to discuss your repair needs before, during, and long after your visit. They treat you like family and won't stop until you're completely satisfied and road ready. B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. The world's most famous candy company is right here in our backyard. They are located at 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, and it is a candy lover's paradise. They have every candy from your childhood, so make sure to visit them today. Climate Tech Inc. For 48 years, family-owned and operated Climate Tech has been the premier company for all HVAC services. For both residential and commercial, they have it covered. They offer free estimates on equipment replacement and 24-hour emergency service. Visit them at climatetech.com. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop has been your trusted barber for nearly a century of great haircuts. With affordable prices and excellent customer service, there's no better place to get your cut. It is located at 26915 Center Ridge Road in Westlake. Dick Esser Plumbing. Get exceptional plumbing repairs and installations for your commercial property from the experienced professionals at Dick Esser Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. They provide honest services and quality workmanship. You can find out more about them today at dickesserplumbing.com. Falls PC Clinic. If you're looking for excellent service and a people-friendly approach, then you've come to the right place. Falls PC Clinic has an ultimate goal to serve you and make your experience a pleasant one. They offer all repairs for makes and models, including Mac computers. They work on laptops and desktops and specialize in hardware repairs. Look them up at fallspcclinic.com. Live from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium here in beautiful North Royalton. Ladies and gentlemen, it is week 10, the final week of the regular season for Northeast Ohio high school football. And it is, of course, the last week of the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. I am Brandon Soder, alongside Cole McDaniel and Dom Clary, coming to you one last time this season as the Wadsworth Grizzlies travel in North Royalton to take on the Bears. Tonight, we have two teams, different outlooks. Wadsworth coming in trying to really position themselves to the playoffs at 7-2. North Royalton trying to finish out the year strong with a win against a division rival. Going to go ahead and throw it over to Dom and Cole as they get you ready for tonight's matchup.
Well, you guys heard it from Brandon just a moment ago. Week 10 officially here of the high school football season. And Dom, we were just talking last week at Brunswick in week 9 of how quickly this season has flown by. It always feels like these game of the weeks are gone so quickly because this season is just a blast for us, obviously, covering these games. Hard to believe it's the last one this year, but I'm looking forward to this game tonight again.
Yeah, no, this is a game that we marked on the schedule early on due to the results last season. You know, we start the season so early here in Ohio, and Florida's the same way, and you know, it almost makes you think, like, oh, what if we just go a little bit longer with the regular season? But you know, playoff time comes, we go our separate ways, we do the podcast, and we start covering teams that we may not have seen in the regular season. So there's a new excitement to be had. But today we have an exciting matchup. So let's just live in the moment for now and not focus on that. We're not going to be able to do this broadcast the following weeks as we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this one tonight, of course, here from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium in North Royalton, Ohio, the Bears come in with a record of 1-8 overall, 0-5 in the Suburban League. Now, on an 8-game losing streak to this point, but of the 6 losses, it's only been one-score games. That's crazy. 6 of those 8 one-score games. I can give you the finals here. 20-17, 26-20, 21-17, 31-28, and 14-9. All close ball games. The results just haven't gone the way of the Bears, Dom.
Yeah, you know, you can contribute this to a lot of teams. I've been on teams that, you know, we're talented enough, we have the coaching to get there, but we're not able to finish through the finishing line. You know, sometimes, you know, maybe you're not conditioned well enough. Maybe there's time management issues on the field and on the sidelines. It could be many things. We've only seen the one loss, and that was due to they played a really good football team that day that just so happened to get the better of them on a game-winning field goal.
Yeah,
and by the way,
end.
We've seen 2 great finals at this stadium. I'm hoping that we see another one. But you can contribute to a lot of things. At the end of the day, you have an opportunity to really bring a team down as they, you know, certainly head into the playoffs. You may not head to the playoffs, but you have a chance to really bring someone's season down as they need all the momentum going forward. You can play spoiler here today, maybe not, you know, eliminating from the playoffs, but from mentally and spiritually really demoralizing your opponent.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, last year the result for this game was at Wadsworth, 22-21, a Bears win. And that was a good Wadsworth team again last year. They're probably a touch better even this year. We'll talk about the visiting Grizzlies here in just a moment. But in order for the Bears to try to spoil this one for the Grizzlies, they're going to probably have to run the rock with their running back, number 22, Cody Miller. He's a guy who's electric when you hand him the football. He's a big factor in their offensive scheme. Brandon and I saw it last year. We saw it earlier in this year where there was that game-winning field goal for North Ridgeville here at this very same stadium. But Miller's a guy you're going to have to let him tote the rock and hope he can help carry it to victory. We're going to step aside here for just a moment as opening kickoffs upcoming. But we're going to talk about the Grizzlies right when we come back here on the Keon Sports Game of the Week. So kickoff coming up here in just a moment, an opportunity to touch on the visitors. The Wadsworth Grizzlies coming in with a 7-2 overall record, perfect in conference play, 5-0 to this point. Their only losses this year to Medina earlier in the year, 40-23, and last week to Fort Hill from Cumberland, Maryland, 36-35. So 1 point loss, and they're looking to rebound here against the Bears. The Grizzlies in their white jerseys with the red pants, the red numerals, and they'll be kicking off from right to left on your screen. And the Bears set to return back deep at the 5-yard line. This one up in the air, and we are underway. Looking for some room to run, and Miller is brought down just past the 25-yard line. So, Dom, mentioned obviously the Grizzlies, the success they've had this year. They're outscoring their opponents 334 to 178. They're a team to watch out for, to make a little run in the playoffs, right? The thing is, they'd have to really go on a huge run, make something happen to probably compete with some of those really big schools. But this is a Wadsworth team that has a lot of talent, and again, they want to see what they can do, get momentum going after losing last week.
It's a talented group here at Wadsworth. They have a lot of potential to make some noise, but many people say they may not be able to make a deep run. They're looking to prove how dominant they are and put fear in their opponents.
But the defense out on the field here first. The lefty quarterback in Joe Kenny is brought down immediately. And Wadsworth showing off what they have in that defensive front. The linebackers coming crashing down, taking him down for a loss there of 5 yards on the first play.
And it just looked like Kenny wasn't ready there. You know what I mean? He was very much flat-footed coming into that. Tough to try to start off the game before you're really in rhythm by trying to take a deeper shot like that. Unfortunately, it's froze up a little bit. Not the start you want for your North Royalton.
2nd and 15 upcoming. A reminder that the pregame show was brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Also a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. Miller on the carry there, trying to get some of those yards back. Not going to quite get back to the original line of scrimmage. And a 3rd and long now upcoming.
You know, you're about 10 yards away now. I think they might say 11, but, you know, right now you can kind of take out your 3rd and long package. And, you know, it's better than your 3rd and way too long. That's what it would have been before that run there by Miller. You can throw short of the sticks here and let your playmakers do something with it. But you need to protect. A lot of blitzes. They have a lot of people in the box due to having 4 linebackers.
So really only 1 down lineman there. The other guy standing up, trying to show some speed off the edge. Throw over the middle. That's in and out of the hands there of the intended target, who was right there at the sticks. Probably should have hauled that one in, but appeared to hear some footsteps. And following the incompletion, now 4th and 11.
Kenny, young fella, you don't have to put so much mustard on the ball now. Ease up. Trust that your wide receivers will get there. Right, put a little oomph on the ball, but not too much where you're going to break a finger, right? Again, you need to catch it if it hits your hands, but at the same time, throw a little softer. Let your wide receiver have an opportunity.
As this punt is up and away, looks like it's going to take a hop at the 40-yard line. Favorable hop there for Wadsworth to be able to return, picking this one up, trying to get around the edge, slipping past the tackler. A lot of room now. Tyler Probst down the sideline, cutting back inside, and he'll be pushed out right around the 15-yard line. What a return there on the punt. And Wadsworth has incredible field position on their opening drive offensively.
Great return there by Pros. And you could feel the crowd. You could feel the team. As soon as they saw that there was a little bit of an opening, the energy started to come up a little bit on the Wadsworth side. They know what this kid can do when he's got the ball in his hands. Showed it right there. You cannot ask for better field position for your first drive if you're Wadsworth.
So now that the offense of the Grizzlies comes out onto the field for the first time this evening, the senior quarterback, number 3, Will Stack, he is certainly a threat there in the backfield, as is their other senior in the backfield, Kyle Figueroa, number 28, the running back. See them operating out of the pistol here right now. Stack looking to pass, looking to the back quarter of the end zone, putting that one up there, gives the receiver a chance, and it's caught. One play and a touchdown for the Grizzlies. Beautiful throw there, and the Grizzlies now lead 6-0.
I mean, that pass can't be in a better location, Cole. I put that right on the money, but that's where Grandma keeps the cookies, on the top shelf, Cole. Doesn't get any better on that when it comes to a throw and a catch. Beautiful execution. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a Wadsworth fan.
Now, is she bringing those cookies to Thanksgiving, though? That's the question.
I knew. As soon as I said that, I'm going to get made fun of here for all the food references. But I'll tell you what, guys, Thanksgiving, right around the corner.
PAT up and good, and there you have it. The Bears quickly find themselves trailing. I mean, that was fast. Just less than 2 minutes of game action to this point, and all it took was one offensive play for the Grizzlies to take the lead here. But if you're Bears, it's still very early, an opportunity to settle in. I know that initial play on first down was it put you behind the sticks and then maybe got you off of your game plan, out of rhythm a little bit. Now you have an opportunity to settle down, take a deep breath, bring the offense on the field, maybe try to run Miller here, see if you can open up some space for him offensively.
And that's what I'm interested to see is what exactly the game plan is going to be for North Royalton. Maybe they were just trying to throw Wadsworth off by throwing it, right out of the gate. But now you're down 7. It becomes the question of, do we try to keep throwing it to stay in this because we know Wadsworth, talent-wise, is, the better of the two teams coming into this at least, or do we stick to our game plan, we try to run the ball out, we play our game and try to stick with them? That's the important question you got to ask as a coaching staff. Again, interested to see how the Bears respond.
Do want to remind everybody that touchdown just a few moments ago was the first trip to the red zone here this evening. So a reminder that all trips to the red zone tonight have been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. So as I mentioned, 10 minutes and 5 seconds to be exact here in the opening quarter here from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium in North Royalton. Kickoff up, hanging high, going to be fielded just past the 5-yard line. Trying to look for some space. A lot of white jerseys there, not going to be able to split through those defenders, and brought down at the 15-yard line, and not the greatest field position here for the Bears on their second drive.
High school football, it's such a funny thing. Folks, if you were here with us last week, 2 drives took up more than a quarter. We went into quarter 2 still on the second drive of the game, already 2 in the books here, already 7 points up on the board. It's a funny game, man.
Absolutely. A lot of things can change. Tell you what, Don said earlier, too. The 2 times we've been at this stadium, of course, once for a North Royalton game, once for a Holy Name game, both were 2 of the closest nail-biter type of games that we've had all year. Again, maybe some of that magic, some of that trend will continue tonight, but you'd feel that North Royalton needs to respond here quickly and then start to establish a little bit of something here on offense. It's going to have to come by toting the rock there with Miller, and there's no room to run.
Guys, I got some scoring update. Hoban, they were up early on St. Ed, 7-0.
Of course, a great matchup there. We'll get you updates as Devin Lowe, our guy covering that one. And, of course, a reminder that at the halftime show, Hinckley Roofing halftime show to be exact, Dom Clary will, of course, give you score updates then at that time as well. 2nd and 10 upcoming from the 15-yard line. Here's a carry once again out of the pistol, and Miller has a lot more room to run there that time. Decent carry and going to set up now 3rd and much more manageable.
Yeah, those are crucial there. These types of runs, they make it where 3rd down is manageable. Again, everyone wants the big play, and that's fine when they come, but when you're an offensive coordinator, unless you have one of those dominant wide receivers or a running back that can just get you 40 yards in a blink of an eye. Usually you're just looking to move the chains each possession depending on what the situation is. Usually you're just trying to move the sticks on a play-by-play basis. You like to do it in 2, like to do it in 1, but it usually takes 3 plays. Use those opportunities wisely.
Kenny keeps it short throw, finds his man, slips through a tackle up to the 40-yard line, and brought down is Max Wasco. So 1st down there. I like the play call, like what North Royalton was able to do to execute. Not only move the chains, but you got plenty of extra yardage after that. Really, an extra 20 yards you picked up there on that reception.
Yeah, you get that curl route to your wide receiver right next to the sticks, and you just let him go for an additional 10 yards.
Miller on the carry. Going to surge forward for about a gain of 5 there on that one. Just over 8 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter.
Starting to feel like everyone's hitting their stride a little bit. The offensive line, Cody Miller, Kinney, everybody's really starting to settle in. Offense is humming along like they hoped it would happen on the first drive. But, hey, better late than never. Just got to keep it going.
So from the 47-yard line now, getting close to Grizzlies territory. 3 receivers to the near side of the field operating out of that pistol. Tight end set on the line to the left. Kinney rolling to his right. And it looks like a penalty marker's flying, and that one's going to fall incomplete as it was thrown into tight coverage. But the marker's sitting at the 41-yard line, and think this is going to go against the Bears.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it is. It might be a holding. It's exactly what it is. got to be careful in those sprint out plays of holding. It's really easy when the defensive end doesn't know where the quarterback is. But once they know, they're going to redirect. And your instincts, no matter what, you have a grasp on that jersey. That defensive end moves. That grasp moves with it, and then it just becomes more evident that you're holding. Again, there's holding on every play. Every lineman except me did it. So you just got to be careful and make sure just not to get caught.
Dom was never called for a penalty
in so
football.
many.
Miller on the short pass. He's going to get some of that yardage back past the 40-yard line, but it's now going to be 3rd and long upcoming. So after a couple good offensive plays, that penalty of losing 10 yards really, really hurts the momentum that was starting to get into a rhythm here for this offense.
Yeah, and both times we've seen the mistake come on plays that they're trying to get the ball a little bit further down the field. For whatever reason, Kenny is struggling seeing his receivers as they're trying to move out a little bit. We saw the sack the first time they tried doing it on their very first offensive play. And then on the rollout, just took a little bit too long to get that ball out, hesitated, and your lineman can only hold up for so long there.
Empty set for Kenny. 3 receivers on the far side looking that way, looking to go over the middle, and sails that one high, way over the heads of anybody there as it falls incomplete. Special teams unit coming out on the field. They'll punt this one away on 4th and 11.
I mean, it seemed like he had no idea where the wide receiver was going to be and was just hoping one of his guys in purple were going to be down that way. Again, it is raining. You cannot tell on your screen here, but it is indeed raining. Not cats and dogs, but it is raining frogs. It's just a little bit here. You must have to look into the lights here to even notice that it's raining. But it will have an effect. You can imagine during practice they would soak the balls in water to get ready for this game.
As this one gets punted away, it's going to be low. Take a hop at the 30-yard line and pretty much hop straight up in the air. It's going to be fielded at the 26. Tell you what, Dom Clary could coin a ton of phrases from this season. It feels like every year we do games, you just add more and more phrases to the repertoire. It's a matter of what's going to stick and what's going to go to the wayside. But I'll tell you what, you got some good ones this year.
It could be an article. It could be a list of your. I almost feel I watch too much Walt Frazier when he announces.
Okay.
I don't know if any of our listeners watch any New York Knicks basketball, but dancing and prancing, spinning and winning. It's just the stuff I grew up listening to. So anytime I can make a little catchphrase out of something, maybe make you reimagine the game a little bit differently, I try to take that opportunity to do so.
Stack looking to go deep. He has his man diving for that one is the senior wide receiver, Drew Jones. Really laid out for that, and if Stack put a little bit more air underneath of that ball rather than the line drive that it was, we're probably looking at 13-0 potential, make it 14-0 on the scoreboard.
Still great athletic prowess there by the receiver. If it wasn't raining, I got to imagine he at least hauls that one in, even with it being overthrown slightly. He nearly had it in his grasp. Great diving attempt. Man, so far, passing offense for Wadsworth looking good.
The pistol again. This one a keeper for Stack. Stack throwing it last minute. It looked like he might have been just past the line of scrimmage, but official says no on the far sideline. Gets that one away. It's going to be a gain of about 7. Dom, I think that was close.
That was a lateral. He threw that behind him. So, I think he threw. He did throw it, but it was
going backwards. You are correct.
I have no idea what to mark that.
Here's a keeper for Stack, trying to get around the edge. He's got some room to run. And it gets out of bounds up right around the 48. But, yes, you're correct. Again, sometimes from these angles, too, sometimes it looks like things can be going straight across the field. But you're right. It was probably about a yard or two backwards there. So good eyes from Dom on the lateral on that play.
It's I forget what that tight end was that threw the Music City Miracle lateral. But, yeah, there again, same lateral.
There's another one. Throw out to the far side. This one's going to be enough to get right where the sticks are. We're going to see where the spot is. And I believe they're going to spot just a touch behind that marker there. So 2nd and short now upcoming, 6 minutes remaining. And the Grizzlies continue to move the football.
This is creative playmaking. I'm marking these down as passes because I really don't know what's going on at this point. But I'll tell you what, it is some great play design.
Figueroa on really the first carry he's had this evening. A talented running back there in the backfield, but he is stopped. Some of the big bodies there for North Royalton swarming and getting in there, and one of those guys is Brendan Dubachnik, the big defensive tackle there. Certainly a tall player, listed at 6'5" there on the roster. So now on 3rd and short, 1 yard to be exact. Going to be the handoff up the middle. Figuere's going to get enough of a push, kept those legs churning. He was contacted right before he got to the sticks, but falls forward, gain of a few. Move the chains for the Grizzlies.
So I want to go back to this pitch that they do. It's really cool what they do. So Royalton has a safety deep, and we do not have enough time to talk. They are quick with it.
Here they do it again. Throw to the near side, looking for some room. And I think this is going to be a hold probably going against Wadsworth. But that play is pretty interesting. It's something unique that we have not seen this season.
Yeah, so essentially what it is, it's essentially just a pitch option, but with your wide receiver. Your wide receiver's already back there in that spot where it's going to get. I think he moves a little bit with his quarterback. But what you're doing is you're bringing that safety that would usually guard that wide receiver, and you're dragging him to the quarterback. When that quarterback, if he's not occupied and that safety's the only one to cover him, that wide receiver will be wide open with a wide receiver blocking for him. I'm going to pay a little bit more close attention to see exactly what they're doing, how this play works, and then explain it more from there. But this is interesting. So if I've never seen this before.
Here's Stack, back to pass, looking down the field. Again, a little bit too much on that one, but he gets hit late. I think this is probably now going to go against the defense of the Bears, which would hurt if that's the case, because it could be 2nd and 20. I do think that hit was pretty late there on Stack in the backfield.
You know, while they're discussing this, it's interesting. It seems like this offense, at least to this point, we're only on their 2nd offensive drive. And, yeah, they are going to call that a late hit. It seems like they're really running 3 plays. You've got that swing option that we keep seeing. We've got the run up the middle, and then we've got that play-action bomb right up the seam that we've seen them throw 3 times now. One of the times, obviously, was able to connect, but 2 times just a little bit far. I'm interested to see if they mix it up any more than that. But, I mean, really, if you've got 3 plays that work well, there's no reason to stop doing it.
So roughing the passer was the official call. Now sets up a 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies. Short throw out to the far side. Coming back to catch that one going to ground is Drew Jones. So it looks like going to be marked right back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 now upcoming.
Could have just let that drop. Hey, he threw that forward, so he could have just watched that drop to the ground, but decided to catch it. They don't gain any yards. It doesn't hurt either way, but I thought he lost about 1 or 2 there. Does not seem to be the case. I mean, you have 2 ISO opportunities here. Bottom of your screen, very top of your screen.
Here's the run up the middle, and that line getting a decent surge there for Figuere, who was contacted as soon as he touched that football. Still going to pick up 4 yards, though, and 3rd and 6 should be the upcoming result here.
Yeah, so it appears that there's almost a cover 0 look coming from North Royalton every once in a while. I'm pretty sure we just saw it there. It was a pass, we would have been able to see where that safety's going, if he's locked on the man or not. Cover 0, you've heard cover 1, you've heard cover 2, heard cover 3. You know, you have 1 person on a zone, 2 person on a zone, 3 person on a zone. But cover 0 is exactly what it sounds like. Everyone's occupied on man coverage. There is no help. There's no safety coming to bail you out. You are one-on-one the whole way, no matter what position you are, on who you're guarding.
Empty set for Stack, going to be a quarterback draw, looking for some room to run, and he finds that space. Plenty of room to get the 1st down, and some after that. Moving down inside the 25, spotted at the 22.
One small thing that I like about Stack, you see this a lot from senior quarterbacks that have played multiple years, and we'll get to it after they snap the ball.
Yeah, moving very quickly. Going to be a keeper for Stack. He wants to run again, get some help from a wide receiver there on the edge, and then spins for another couple yards. And I think they're going to keep trying to move here quickly, and it's working well for the Grizzlies.
It seems like every time they get positive yardage, they kind of run the no huddle, they go out there. It's just when they make a mistake or when they get stopped, they take time, they reset. But again, they're playing the momentum game right now, and it's working for them.
2nd and 3 now from the 15-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. That pressure was coming off the near side from the Bears, and Grizzlies decided not to snap that, take their time. Stack, Figuere in the backfield with him. Looking to the short throw to the near side, has a man in the flats, and slipping down just right around the 11-yard line. That was number 11, Tyler Probst, who had the great punt return earlier in this game as he tried to cut in, lost his footing.
I mean, you have that turf where there's not a lot of rubber pellets on it, and that might be the case. You can't really see the rubber pellets too much from up here. And usually that means it's pretty flat down there, not much to grip down there. And that's kind of a good thing, because usually when you have more of the rubber pellets, you have more injuries, knee injuries that happen, ankle injuries. But right here, you're just slipping. It doesn't matter what the weather is, especially when it's rainy. You cannot find any grip there on that turf.
1st and 10 now. Stack has a man out to the outside. Here's a completion, rumbling down inside the 5-yard line. And that's going to be a touchdown for Wadsworth, and a reminder that that trip to the red zone a moment ago was brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
Man, I thought he was bumped out of bounds there. Great second effort there by the Wadsworth receiver, and we're seeing a lot of that. They're not necessarily being overly physical like some teams we've seen this year, but man, they're slippery. And if you give them any kind of space to operate, any kind of a second chance to slip out of a tackle, their athletes are taking advantage of it.
So now PAT is up, and it is good. So 14-0 now. Grizzlies leading on the road against the Bears as they're trying to get revenge from their loss last year, 22-21. So things are going well right now for the Grizzlies, and I have to say probably what hurt the Bears is it felt like because of that holding penalty, it's going to be 2nd and 20 upcoming. But that late hit, I know you want to get after the quarterback, but that's one as a defender where you have to try to pull out of that. It was late on that hit on Stack, rightly so for the officials, the roughing the passer call there. And that's really what killed the defense there for the Bears, just lack of discipline.
And that's the hard thing. When you come in as the underdog, it's not necessarily fair, but you got to play a perfect game, right? And when you start making mistakes, you start giving away free yardage, free field position, then you're going against not only a very talented team, but you're going against yourselves, kind of giving away bits and pieces of the game. So it's tough. You can't really expect any team to go out and play perfect football every day, but it's what you got to do if you want to keep yourself in when you're going up against a team like Wadsworth.
So now the Grizzlies about to kick this one away here. Just a touch over 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Again, that rain has been off and on a little bit. Looks like really not anything coming down here at this very moment. But everything's been pretty light so far here this evening. Just enough to coat the field, make it a little bit slick. The short kickoff returned and brought back to the 30-yard line. And here comes the offense of the Bears again, trying to find a way to respond. Now, the last drive out was much better than the first drive out. They had a couple good offensive plays, had a little bit of momentum going their way. Then the holding call really set the offensive game plan back a little bit, and then you ended up having a 3rd and long, which you struggled with on the first drive, had to punt away for a 2nd time in a row.
And again, you just got to see if you can come out and build on that. You know what I mean? This offense has not looked hopeless by any means. You just got to keep stringing it together. I mean, both facets of the game were working. They were able to pass the ball successfully a couple times. The run game's there with Cody Miller. Just got to string it together now. Keep it going.
So here's the lefty again, Joe Kenny, receiver in motion, going to hand this one off on the jet sweep, trying to cut back is Wasco, and he's brought down right just past the line of scrimmage there. Looks like they might give him about a yard and a half there on that carry.
The jet sweep, hold reliable for a lot of teams. It's meant to be your big-time run play. There, only picks up about 2 yards. Doesn't really hurt there. Need a little bit bigger pickup here on 2nd down if you want to have a manageable 3rd down situation.
Credit to the defensive back setting the edge, really staying disciplined and making Wasco have to try to cut back there and didn't find any room. Wasco in motion again here, now out of the pistol set. Kenny looking over the middle. He's got a man. That one's complete past the 1st down marker and pushed down to the ground right past the 45-yard line at the 46.
Yeah, he just whizzes that right in there. He has a really strong arm. I had a quarterback like that my senior year in high school. It didn't matter if you were 40 yards away or 5 yards away. He was looking to throw the ball right through your chest. Wide receivers sometimes have a hard time with that. Not there. Nice little catch. Good gain for about 15 yards in a 1st down.
3 receivers out to the far side of the field. Going to be a run with Miller up the middle. He's hit right after he picked up about a yard, and do believe he had a little bit of forward momentum that got him a little bit of extra room. So gain of almost 2 there on that carry. And we have less than a minute left to go in the quarter.
I tell you what, Miller's one of those guys. We make that all grit team, and he's one of those guys that was, calling him gritty.
Yeah.
When we first saw him is where we got the idea from. It's a guy that is a contention to make that list. He's tough. He's not a big kid, but he's a physical running back. He looks the part. I mean, he will knock a few players over before going down.
Receiver in motion again. Kenny back to pass. Looking down the field, up the sideline. Little miscommunication there with his receiver, and that one falls incomplete. So live to see another day here. 3rd down now upcoming.
Yeah, that's all it was, miscommunication. Honestly, I don't necessarily think it would have been a bad throw. It was about on line where his receiver was, just, in the wrong spot. And to their credit, the receiver was right up the middle, which is where Kenny has had a lot of success throwing the ball here so far. Play there was open. The receiver could have made a play on it, but again, Kenny just putting it in the wrong spot, not quite knowing where his receiver was waiting for him.
So that stop clock, still have 15 seconds left here remaining in the quarter. We'll see if this happens to be the last play of the quarter. Trying to get a late sub onto the field there. Kenny stepping up in the pocket, wanting to release. He stepped right into that pressure. He knew he was going to take a shot. Probably could have taken about half a step less there, but was able to still get that one off as he was hit immediately, but in and out of the hands there of number 88, Joseph Calarco.
You're going to take the hit either way, bring the ball in.
Yeah.
That's all the analyst I have there. Hey, listen, I understand. I've never been down the field trying to catch a ball, so I'm not one to criticize. But, as an analyst, you're going to take that shot either way. Catch the ball. You might as well do it if you're going to get hit.
I would say if you're the receiver, especially when your quarterback knows he's going to get popped and he still delivers that ball, do it for your quarterback who just stepped up and put one right in your chest and delivered a strike there. So that one was punted away. That's good. Do it for the quarter. Into the first quarter, the Grizzlies leading on the road at Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium 14-0. We'll step aside here, be back for the start of the second quarter in just a few moments.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted and taste the 50-plus years of legacy for yourself. Freedom Auto Detail and Ceramics. Experience the best in automotive luxury and protection with Freedom Auto Detailing in Ceramics. Unleashing the true beauty of your vehicle with expert detailing, premium ceramic coating, and paint protection services. As a veteran-owned and operated business, they take pride in the unique qualities and values that set them apart from other detailing and paint correction services. Find their work online at freedomceramiccoatings.com.
Back for the start of the second quarter here in the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Wadsworth, their offense coming back out on the field, and they have been moving down the field efficiently. 2 for 2 on their first 2 drives here this evening. Looking to make it 3 for 3 and take a 3-score lead. Stack back to pass, looking deep down the field, floats it up in the direction of Jones. That's the 3rd time he's overthrown Jones down the field.
Man, they really want that deep shot, don't they? Obviously, if it hits, it's great. That's a huge momentum shifter for you. And at this point, maybe one of the final nails in the coffin if you're Wadsworth. But, man, how many times you got to go to the well, have it not work, and continue to try to put that up?
So 2nd and 10 now following the incompletion. 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Figueroa gets the carry up the middle. He has room to run. Turn on the Jets. 1 man to beat, and he does. Drops his defender on the ground. 15-yard line to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown. Wadsworth striking quickly again. 3-score lead for the visitors.
I mean, no one was catching the big fella there. Boy, was he just off to the races. It was just the Red Sea just opened up for him now. Wow, what an impressive run there from the big fella, the senior.
80-yard run there for the senior running back on 2nd and 10. Just the second play of that drive for the Grizzlies. PAT is up and good once again. So now 21-0 is the score. A reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com.
Especially if they keep playing like this, I know you mentioned that Wadsworth might have a tough time getting on that same tier as, the big players out there in the playoffs. But you got to imagine your offense right now, this is a huge confidence booster. You got to feel like this is your year, your senior quarterback, senior running back. You've got a solid team here ready to go. And, when you're in high school, sometimes you don't know any better, right? You don't know that you're not supposed to be competing with those big name teams. And we see St. Ed's tonight. Obviously, they're playing still a good team in Hoban, but nobody's unbeatable this year, I feel like, in Northeast Ohio.
That's a really good point you made, because I was literally talking to my parents about this today, old memories on my phone of my senior night, and talking about how, we thought we would do this, this, and that. We were a 5-win team in the second round of the playoffs, so we thought we were going to beat the number 2 team in the state. I mean, when you're playing football, you believe what the staff tells you in that, hey, our record may not be what it wants, but there's talent in this room. Wadsworth, they 100% believe they can make a run. If I bet there's a lot of guys in that room believe that they can win a state title.
Absolutely, and if a couple things go their way as well, they can make a deeper run into the postseason as well. Because this is a team that, I had the fortunes of being at their game where they fell to Medina on the road last year in the playoffs, and they made Medina work for that win in that game. I saw a lot of good things out of the Grizzlies. A lot of familiar faces of last year's team out there on the field, and they're 1 year older, one more year of experience under their belt so far. Of course, like I said, Medina of last year and North Royalton here, a little bit different opponents. But at the same time, I do think this Grizzlies team probably has taken a little bit of a step in the right direction. You see it from what they've done this year in the regular season as well. So here's the Bears out on offense, trying to get something going here, and Miller, big run up the middle. It's a nice first play on this drive for the Bears.
There's another example about why Miller really inspired the all-grit team. As Dom said, not the biggest guy in the world, but man, if there is any extra yardage to be fought for, he's going to fight for it. And he just barreled over his guy, still got an extra yard tumbling forward. Got to love the effort.
2nd and 3 now upcoming. Late substitution here for Wadsworth. Officials letting them get the subs on. A little bit of rain picking back up again here, kind of just like a mist swirling here right now. Can see it up and the lights off to the far side. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Miller to the right of Kenny in the backfield. Going to be a carry once again, looking for some room. The patience there of Miller, and that's going to be plenty to get the first down and move the chains.
He's just a workhorse. He's one of those backs that, hey, we're running a pass play. He can stay and protect, or he can go on a route. Or, hey, we're going to hand the ball off for 5 plays in a row this drive. Hey, we have Kobe Miller. We'll just do it with him. He's he's a player that you don't really see at the next few levels where they're in for every single down at the running back position. You just don't see it. It's a lost art.
Kenny short throw here to the near side. That one, as soon as it's caught at about the 49-yard line. Saw the receiver there, number 88. Joseph Calarco, who had the drop just a little while ago. That time as he caught it, he kind of jumped back, lost about a yard and a half there.
Kenny throws a really good ball. I mean, it's a tight spiral. It's right on the mark where it needs to be. It seems like where he's struggling more than anything is being able to see his receivers a little bit further down the field when the traffic starts coming in. But overall, kid's got a great arm.
It could have been a gain of about 4 or 5. Turns into a gain of just 3. And then on the carry there, that ball maybe getting a little bit slippery there for Miller. And Miller loses that one, ripped away out of his arms. And Wadsworth, the Grizzlies, fall on the football at the 49-yard line. So good field position again here for the visitors as they come out for their really first drive here, the second quarter now.
Yeah, and that's obviously going to hurt if you're North Royalton. It was a decent start to the drive, but giving the ball right back to Wadsworth. And we've seen so far, defense hasn't shown any real way to stop this Grizzlies offense. Got to come up with something here, though, man. You're already down 3 scores, still 10 minutes to go in the second. Got to stop the bleeding.
So on that last drive, 2 plays, and all it really took was a Kyle Figueroa monster run where no one could catch him, and he stiff-armed the last defender there in open space, took it for 80 yards. This time a keeper for Stack, gains about 1 yard on that carry. So 2nd and 9 now upcoming, just under 10 minutes left to go in the second.
He is just an aggressive back, isn't he? or quarterback, pardon me, but you almost get lost that he's not a running back. I mean, he has that move as if he is one. I mean, he can make a defensive back or defensive end miss.
Throw to the flat on the far side. Receiver had to go low to bring that one in. And actually, because he had to go low, probably worked out well because he got to cut back inside, but then it got hit for his troubles. Nathan Metzger still picking up 3 on that play.
And one thing I really like about Stack that I was trying to get in the last time they were running no huddle, as a senior quarterback, his play fakes are phenomenal. He sells them very well. He's got the motions down for it. A lot of younger quarterbacks are kind of overthinking in those situations. They want to just hurry up and get to the pass, get to whatever the fake might be. But Stack does a great job selling it anytime they go off a play action or go out for an option.
Empty set now for Stack. And we'll see if they want to take a shot here. It looks like those safeties are pinched in. I feel pretty close there. Now they're retreating. Short throw underneath. Figueroa turning up the field, and that running back, not only can he run the ball, as soon as he caught that one, knew to turn up field immediately, and nobody's going to stop him before he gets to moving the chains. And now ball is at the 38.
Yeah, it seems like there was some confusion there. The defensive backs were yelling on the sidelines to figure out what was going on, but Wadsworth snapped the ball before the Bears were able to kind of get fully organized here. It's starting to rain a little bit harder, guys.
Empty set again. Clap the hands from Stack. Short throw out to the far side. And wide receiver, as soon as he hauled that one in, just barreled through a defender. Got a lot more yardage on that play than initially would have been expected. Credit to Drew Jones, guy who's been missed a few times down the field. But that time there, showing off his power after the catch.
And credit to what Dom's saying, the rain is really starting to come down, and Wadsworth, they don't seem to care. They're having success passing the ball. They're going empty again. This rain is not stopping them from running the offense they want.
Figueroa now in motion. Going to be a keeper for Stack, and Stack probably should have given that one to his running back because I think he had the size and the power that I don't know if the defensive back on the near side was going to be able to bring down the big running back 1v1 in open space.
Absolutely agreed, but man, the acceleration Stack just had there looked like he was handed the ball in the backfield. He had enough time to fake that and start running and somehow just get up to full speed immediately. Obviously, it didn't work out for them. Credit to North Royalton's line for being able to stop it. Man, this kid is a freak athlete.
Yeah, they have a motion there, sets up the veer option. The back and the quarterback there switch responsibilities of where they're hitting. Makes the quarterback go just a little bit quicker.
Continue to go back to the well of this empty set, and I like what they're doing. You see that one there. They, just 2 plays ago, they had thrown it out to Jones on the far sideline, let Figueroa block for him. It worked out well. Then they brought Figueroa over on the jet sweep. It ended up being just an option play, and then Stack kept it, decided to run. They went to Jones again, got some good yardage. So really the key is Figueroa out on the far side, again setting those blocks for Jones, and we're going to have a timeout here on the field. And so a little brief pause in the action here with 7 minutes left to go, 3rd and 2 upcoming after the timeout.
Yeah, and good timeout, I think, if you're North Royalton. You saw Wadsworth running that same set out there over and over and over again, and like you said, they found several different points to exploit that. They were really picking up all the momentum, marching down the field. So North Royalton now hopefully give themselves a minute, regroup, talk about what we're going to do differently to go out there because, man, they haven't been able to do much of anything to slow them down on this drive.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this Wadsworth team, and you pointed out earlier how they only ran a handful of plays. They completely changed their playbook. I mean, they're mixing in things we didn't see in that first quarter. They're still moving quick, but they're mixing in a few different pass plays, different formations. Sometimes you can run the same type of plays, which is usually what most offenses do. You just change the formation up. The blocking just changes a few responsibilities depending on what type of defense you're seeing. But right now, when they were doing that empty set, it looks like they're moving away from it. Things looked a lot different from their look there in that first quarter.
Makes sense when you have Figueroa in the backfield here on a 3rd and short. He's going to have plenty of space there to surge forward, get skinny, slide sideways through the little gap that he had. Move the chains now, setting up a 1st and 10. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. Two receivers to the near side of the field. Tight end kind of stacked right behind the right tackle now going in motion to the left side, still out of that pistol set. Stack wants to throw this one to the end zone, and he floated that one. Miscommunication with his receiver. And how did that one fall to the ground incomplete? That felt like a gimme INT, but somehow the drive continues for the Grizzlies.
Bailed out there. Simply put, he was bailed out, that cornerback. He's going to be dreaming about what if I got that? We could have turned this game around. And you cannot wear gloves in this weather because now they're going to work against you. You need to look like an old 1970s wide receiver, like you're playing for John Madden, and you gotta take the gloves off, and hope that your hands can stay dry enough to catch a ball, even if you're a cornerback or a safety.
Dom Clary's type of football, you heard it here. Here's the short throw to Figueroa in some space. He's going to get a little bit of a push, get some help from his line, continuing to move forward past the 15-yard line. But third down now upcoming.
Good second effort by not only the running back, but the entirety of the offensive line. He could have easily gone down about 4 yards before he did. But, again, great effort. I talked earlier about how a lot of these athletes are just slippery for Wadsworth. Obviously, the rain's helping with that too. But, man, feels like every time I say something about this team, they go ahead and try to prove me wrong. And the physicality has really picked up here on this drive. The second effort's been there. Overall, team's just humming.
Two receivers to the far side. Figueroa to the left of Stack. Now out in motion, Stack, a quarterback draw up the middle, and he gets a good block from his line, and he'll walk into the end zone. Stack another touchdown, and the Grizzlies now up 27-0.
I mean, this right now kind of signifies everything that we've seen from North Royalton since the North Ridgeville game. They've just struggling against the top dogs, not just in their conference, but of the teams they've played. Wadsworth, man, they look like the real deal. I'll tell you what, I don't know how far they'll go. I don't know who they'll beat and who they'll lose to, but I'll tell you what, it is a team that we're going to talk about for sure next week at our playoff podcast. I promise you that much.
They're fun. I mean, the thing is like I said, I think they've improved even from last year, from when I saw them. And the thing is, they were good last year. I think when everybody looks at it, everybody thinks, okay, St. Ed's, you got some of those big schools. Everybody's looking up at them, and, you know, could a team like Wadsworth compete against them? Well, I mean, any given day, right, that somebody can pull off a shocker. So, I mean, if this Wadsworth team with the playbook that they have, and if they can keep playing in the rhythm that they have, I mean, I think they could at least give really anybody at least somewhat of a game, right? Give them some moments that make them scared, at least for a little bit, and we'll see what they can do here. Right around the corner is the postseason. And, of course, even though this is the last game of the week broadcast here for this season, a reminder that myself, Dom Clary, Brandon Soder, and Vince McKee will be back with our playoff preview podcast as well that we did last year. So looking forward to that starting up here very shortly as well. Under 6 minutes left to go. 5 minutes and 46 seconds to be exact. 28-0 Grizzlies. This one fielded just past the 10-yard line, looking for some room to run and making a man miss before being brought down right past the 25-yard line is Mannix Wasco.
Yeah, here's a, can we put points on the board type of drive. You need to prove it now here if you're North Royalton. Right now you're doing it for the seniors. You have no other motivation than we cannot put on a bad showing on the last time that we messed up on a football field together. You have to put together a good effort. They want to do that. They need to start now.
Kenny hands this one off to Miller. Miller gets contact immediately, but shakes a pretty big defender there and then is able to get out of bounds after a gain of a few yards. And again, that's just a gritty run there from Miller, somehow staying on his feet actually, but unfortunately he's coming up a little bit limp after going out of bounds.
It was gritty, but it was still smart too, right? He made that initial contact, but he didn't try to just push through it and fall forward and get back to the line of scrimmage. He did a good job reading the blockers, bouncing to the outside, and at least turning something into nothing. Got a couple yards out of it. Sets up more of a second and manageable. Hopefully, he can get you in a good position for third down.
2nd and 7 to be exact from the 29-yard line. 5.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Kenny looking to the near side of the field, and that one slipped out of his hands. Rain probably affected that throw. Looking in the direction there of his intended receiver, Joseph Calarco.
And he was about a second and a half too slow on that throw. The receiver was planted, he was there, he was ready, and it just took Kenny a little bit too long to get through the reads, get that ball over to him. But he was there, he was open. And like you said, though, not only throw a little bit late makes it hard, but this rain is really starting to come down now. It is not doing North Royalton any favors.
We've had beautiful weather all season. This is really the first game where we've had substantial rain, and it comes in week 10, so late in the season. Kenny, he's going to eat this one, standing back there in the pocket. The clock should have been ticking as he was standing in there and actually had a little bit of time, but then the white jerseys met him and dropped him for a massive loss there on that play. 4th and 15 upcoming, and they're going to have to punt this one away.
You know, if you're Wadsworth here, you have a golden opportunity to get that clock running before you get into the halftime here. You know, you put a touchdown on the board. That's that's the mercy rule in play. If your defense continues to play the way that they're playing, they might be set if they keep the starters in.
A little bit of pressure sent, but able to get that punt away, and that one hangs up in the air, drops right around the 37-yard line. And nearly touched there. That is close. That's one where if you're on the return team there, you got to get away from that football. Travis Graham nearly touched his foot.
When I was a senior, one of our playoffs games, we had players that jumped over a ball like that. We had one that would shove players out, and all the seniors had a responsibility. If you saw one of your teammates do that in your position group, you grab them by the jersey and you tell them never do that again. Because it might not cost us this week, but next week it will cost us if you make that mistake. You have to be careful. I understand it looks cool and you put on your highlight tape with the cool music in the background. Can't do it now. God, I sound old. Oh, wow. I sound like I played 52 years ago. I played 2 years ago. My golly.
You've had us fooled all season, Bob.
I think I feel bad if someone hasn't seen like our pregame show. They're thinking like, who is this 70-year-old broadcasting with Cool and Brandon?
Meanwhile, he is the youngest guy here on the broadcast, mind you. 28-0, still 4.5 minutes left to go. Here's a run up the middle. Not a ton of room there on that carry.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to rush here, if they're just going to continue what they're doing. I mean, they've kind of rushed anyway just by running their offense. But I'll tell you what, this has been one of my favorite offenses to watch when it comes to play design. And they execute it beautifully, too. Credit to the players. But I'll tell you what, this is a good coaching staff from what I've seen so far when it just comes to play design. And there's a lot more to it, ins and outs, clock management, practice managing players. But I'll tell you what, play design, that looks phenomenal.
Yeah, they're in a good rhythm right now, and that rhythm continues in Figueroa, dropping the shoulder and leveling the defender there. Good job by Nicholas Safranik to hold on, take the hit, and still bring the player down. But Figueroa, my goodness, not only does he have a burst in open space, but you see his size and his physicality. And they're trying to move quickly. They're going to go back to the well with Figueroa. He's going to keep the legs moving there. A little bit of a surge from his offensive line and a gain of almost 4 yards on that carry.
And again, you notice they don't rush to the ball every single time. It's when they get a big play and they see something they think they can exploit before North Royalton can go and make the adjustment that they're doing it. It's interesting that they're not going all one way or the other. They're kind of picking their spots with the no huddle, and obviously to this point it's worked out for them.
Well, they have time to really kill the clock here in this half, but also, you know, this team wants to get down the field and still put more points up on the scoreboard. They have plenty of time to do so. 3 minutes remaining here in the quarter. Receiver in motion now. Figueroa still in the backfield. Stack going to send his tight end in motion over to the left side. Stack going to keep this one. Maybe a wrong decision, but he slips through the tackle there, and he's brought down after really only losing about maybe a yard, half a yard there on that play. Looked like he was going to lose maybe about 7 or 8.
Say good job for Stack just being able to stay up. I mean, the lineman kind of came through unblocked. The play was blown up before he had a chance to do anything, but I'm just impressed he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't know how he did it.
So 3rd and 7 now. Still manageable on this 3rd down after not taking much of a loss there on that play. 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Out of that pistol set. Stack looking to throw. Short throw over the middle, a little bit behind his receiver, but adjusting his body and pulling that one in past the 50-yard line is number 15, Nathan Metzger.
Nice little throw there for 10 yards. That'll move the sticks. Stop the clock here for a moment. Surprised they're not moving super quick. It's worked for them so well. So they have that no huddle. Ran that in college for a year.
Trips left. Stack looking left. Short throw into the flats. Cutting back inside. Getting a block out ahead. And tripped up before getting to that first down marker. Just about half a yard behind that on a nice play again from Nathan Metzger.
Yeah, you know, they're able to move quick because the quarterback gets the signal, wide receivers running back, all the skill positions get it, and then they signal it there to the lineman.
Figueroa breaks through a couple tackles, barrels down close to the 25-yard line.
Seems like you need a host of tacklers anytime Figueroa has the ball here. It's going to take more than one guy to slow him down. Not even tackle him, just to slow him down. And he's taking several men with him every time he's got the ball.
Here's another carry again, getting spun around. I'll tell you what, obviously maybe not quite as big, but it's also the number 28. To me, the way he's running right now, Chris Beanie Wells is the first person that comes to my mind. Just was a big running back, break through some tackles, but then because of the long strides out in open space, again, could turn on the jets and actually pick it up. That's how he's running right now.
I haven't heard that name in a decade. Beanie Wells.
Yeah, been a long time.
Well, he wasn't a Pittsburgh Steeler either, so Dom's a little confused.
Well, I do have a Steeler comparison for him.
Okay, but we will get to it here in just a moment. As Stack looks down the field, has a receiver coming back to that ball, and that one just grazed the turf. Really nice effort there from the receiver down the field, adjusting to try to get back to that one. But if Stack puts it a little higher and doesn't put it behind his receiver, we're looking at another touchdown.
You know, unfortunately left that a little bit short. But, man, he could have ran for another 10 yards there. He had open field in front of him. I get you want to make the big play, but, man, sometimes just tuck the ball and run. You've got the ability. Take the yards that are there for you.
Yeah, you know, you have a point there, Brandon, but when you're a quarterback, you're told that the safe move there is to spread the ball, show some love to your wide receivers. I think he made the right decision, just execution wasn't there.
Figueroa, he's going to take this one to the end zone. Blockers ahead of him. Maybe got just grazed by maybe a hand when he was surging through the line. Aside from that, nearly untouched into the end zone, though there is a penalty marker right around the 10-yard line. And not exactly sure, but it seems like this one's not coming back going against the Grizzlies. So it seems like they're talking things over, and I believe the special teams unit's going to probably remain out here on the field, so would have to be going against the Bears. So there it is. A sportsmanlike penalty going against the home team here, North Royalton Bears. And now the Grizzlies, they hold a 34-0 lead. Opportunity to make it 35. Under a minute remaining here in this half. So there's the whistle for the PAT. Rain's really died down here. Not much of anything at the moment after his raining hard for a moment there, but the snap is good, holds good. Kick is up and good. 35-0, all Grizzlies here at this point. But the Bears have an opportunity to get the football back, try to make something happen here with 53 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Obviously not a lot of time, but if nothing else, get your offense out there, get some good reps, maybe pick up a first down. Give yourself something to kind of grasp onto as we go into the second half. You're going to be coming out with a running clock. There's a lot going against you. So the more momentum you can try to build back, the more belief you can put back into your team here in these last 53 seconds, better off you're going to be.
Last game of the season, right? Why not?
Exactly.
Take some shots, see what happens, right? We know Kenny obviously has a strong arm. Of course, the rain hasn't fully stopped, but it's definitely not pouring like it was a few moments ago. So, again, hopefully he has some decent grip on the football here now. But why not let him air it out? We know he's got the arm. I want to see what he can do sending it down the field here.
It doesn't look like field position is going to really be much of a factor. Is that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty? Adding it on to the kick here, so they're going to be kicking it from North Royalton's 45-yard line. So likely going to be a touchback. would have hoped to have at least a little bit of something to work with if you were Royalton. Get a kickoff return, something, but it'll be a little bit harder now.
I gotta say, if a kickoff goes through the uprights, it should be worth something.
I agree.
What is
Especially at
this,
the high school
Canadian football? God, well, we should get points on punts. Get out of here.
Not on punts, Dom.
I know, it's the same thing.
Listen, Dom, back in your day, kicks were still worth more than touchdowns, so why don't you calm down?
Swung out of bounds at about the 8-yard line there, so no room for Wasco's. That one died. I don't blame him for trying to let that one maybe skip out of bounds, skip into the end zone to get better field position, but just died at the 2-yard line. So not much that Wasco could do about it. Picked it up, got about 6 yards additionally there on that one, and now really backed up offensively here with 49 seconds left.
Yeah, and it was the right play. It's not often you see that kind of weird backspin on a kickoff, and obviously the rain's not helping, the field conditions, the ball's going to do some weird things, but, oh, man, it's just that much harder now starting at your own 9 as opposed to at least your own 20.
A reminder for everybody out there at halftime, don't go anywhere here. Stick around for the Hinckley Roofing halftime show. Dom Clary going to give you score updates from around the area. Here on 1st and 10, a carry for Miller. Miller trying to look for a little bit of room, and he's brought down almost immediately after he crossed the 10-yard line. And the Grizzlies defense has been really swarming to the football very quickly. And after that first play of this drive, I think that kind of details how this is going to go for the Bears. Maybe run one more play before going to the locker room.
Yeah, they're satisfied with that. Get everybody in the locker room healthy, reset, try to make whatever adjustments you can. There's something there, again, some coaches are phenomenal at being able to see what's going on and be able to make that adjustment, bring your team back out, get them competitive again. Maybe that's all they want to do, get out of here healthy.
Empty set, though, for Kenny. Back to pass, looking down the field. He's going to throw this one high over the head of his receiver there, over the outstretched arms there, and that is going to do it. That is the final play here of the half, and the Grizzlies on the road looking to get back in the win column here before the postseason. They lead 35-0 over the North Royalton Bears. For myself, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, Brandon Soder, we'll step aside here for a few minutes, but as I mentioned, don't go anywhere. The Hinckley Halftime Show coming up very shortly.
This November, vote Joe DeMio for Berea Clerk of Courts. Strongsville City Councilman Joe DeMio has over 25 years of experience serving the people of Northeast Ohio. He will put his over 25 years of court experience and over 2 decades of city council experience to work for you. DeMio is a name to be trusted. His judicial experience at the county level has him serving 4 judges and trusted by thousands. When you vote for DeMio, it truly is experience working for you. You can find out more at joedemio.com. This ad was paid for by the Friends of Joe DeMio for Berea Clerk of Courts. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Great Lakes Training. Great Lakes Basketball caters to athletes of all ages and experience levels with a wide variety of training techniques. Book your first session today at www.greatlakesbasketball.com or email Coach J at coachj@greatlakesbasketball.com. Got You Covered Medina. Got You Covered of Medina offers affordable and high-quality blinds and shades that can completely transform the interior of your property. With affordable pricing and experts in the field of home redecorating to guide you, check them out online at www.gotchacovered.com/Medina or call them at 330-446-3647. Suburban Cement. Since 1978, Suburban Cement has been your trusted choice for all your cement needs. From driveways and walks to patios, steps, and garage floors, they have you covered. Quality products, quality workmanship, and quality people. Find out more about this family-owned and operated company rated by the BBB at suburbancement.net or give them a call at 440-235-0077. The Gutter Boys. At the Gutter Boys, they believe there's a better way to do gutters. The gutter industry is one that is easily entered, but true professionalism is what separates them from the rest. Reach out to them today at 440-271-8847.
Welcome to the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. I'm Dominic Clary, one of your 3 members of the broadcast crew of the Keon Sports Game of the Week. We're here at North Royalton, as I have the score wrong here on my sheet, but it's been all Wadsworth here today. They are up 35-0, or if you're an English soccer fan, 35-0. And so 35-0 here at North Royalton. Wadsworth continues to just impress as they have all year long. They look to improve to 8-2, while North Royalton, they are likely to fall to 1-9 if the score continues the way it has been now. One of our games that has been featured on Twitter and one of the articles that you need to read once the game ends is St. Ed's versus Hoban. This is a game that we've been excited to follow. It's one of the biggest games all year. It is 7-7, St. Ed's and Hoban, all tied up at the end of the first half. We'll keep you updated for the rest of the game. Avon Lake, the battle for the Civil Rail. And, hey, if you're a fan of the rivalry, make sure to pick up Vince McKee's book of high school football rivalries in Northeast Ohio. Nice plug there for the boss man. Hey, and one of my articles is featured in it, too. Why not give that a read as well? One of the latest installments of that rivalry in that book is right there. Avon leads it 10-0. Bree Mid-Park, boy, have they been good all year long. You can watch one of their games earlier this season on our YouTube channel, but they've been impressive all year long. They look to secure being the second best team out of the SWC, something that we have not seen since doing the live broadcast here at Keon Sports. They're up 21-0 on Elyria, or 21-3, pardon me, on Elyria. Strongsville and Brunswick, 2 teams where, in the GCC, they thought things were going to be a little bit different for them. Compared to last year, that has not been the case. Both teams have struggled to improve. Brunswick, boy, did they look good last week due to Rock Sandwich, but it has not been the same today. Strongsville leads early 13-7. That's a game of 2 teams that we follow pretty much all year long. We'll continue to update you on that game. Another battle for Parma supremacy, Holy Name and Valley Forge. They battle it out. They're Valley Forge in Parma. Score is 21-16. Holy Name. They score with 25 seconds left in the half on a very long touchdown. They look to continue that. Holy Name, Valley Forge, they're competing for possibly one of the last playoff spots. A lot of things have to happen for both squads, but things are still possible. Both teams believe that they can be a playoff team this year with just 3 wins. Euclid and Menor are battling it out for the GCC. Has not been the year Euclid wants. Menor, they thought this would be a year that they win the GCC title. Has not been the case, but they are up 26-6 on Euclid as they look to secure a good playoff spot. North Ridgeville, they're looking to secure being the 3rd best team out of the SWC. They thought they could be the 2nd, but no. Brea Mid-Park proved that they were the 2nd best team. Right now, North Ridgeville, they are placing their frustrations on Amherst Steel. The score is 14-0 in favor of the Rangers. This is a battle for the GCC crown here today. Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights, 2 teams in their first year of GCC play and their first chance at a GCC title here in the last game of the season and of conference play as we head into the playoffs next week. Cleveland Heights, they are just a half away from winning the title if they can maintain just a 3-point lead. 20-17, Cleveland Heights leads the Tigers. They look to get their first crown. Medina, they are beating Solon. Again, not the year they wanted. They thought the crown would be theirs, but no, not this year's. Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights, as I said previously, are battling it out. Medina, they're up 21-0 over a struggling Solon squad. Again, this is the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. The score here is Wadsworth 35, North Royalton 0. Make sure to stick around for more action on the Keon Sports Game of the Week.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Helene Kia. Looking for a new or used car? Check out our guy Jim McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a member of the auto community for the last 20 years and will treat you right no matter your car buying need. He's an expert at new and used car deals, including trade-ins and financing. Hinckley Roofing. They are your first choice in commercial or residential roofing. This family-run company has been around for 50 years and is your first choice in trusted roofing needs. You can find them online today at hinkleyroofing.com or call them at 330-273-2979, as they use only the best products on the market to get the job done right every single time. JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL is a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor with the experience to complete any job needed for your home or property. Let their team of professionals help you with vinyl siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Get the job done right the first time and stress-free with JBL. Call them today at 330-677-9463 or visit them on the web at jblrc.com. Jenny's Popcorn. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway in North Ridgeville, Ohio. They have everything from butter, cheese, caramel, and everything in between at this popcorn paradise. Kelly McLean Achievement Center, the premier resource for high school athletes who wish to continue to play in college. They provide a one-on-one consultative approach to help students determine their needs and goals. Visit them online at kellymac.com. Laura Bosworth. Buying and selling a home can be stressful. You need a kind, caring realtor who puts her clients first. Consult with full-time area expert Laura Sirigliano Bosworth with Century 21 Homestar and the 21 Mike team. Call or text 440-552-1904 or email Laura at laura@21mike.com. Makeaway Dumpster. At Makeaway, customers get discounts on days and prices. They offer 24-hour delivery in most cases, along with 10, 15, 20, and 25 cubic yard containers. With Makeaway, there are no hidden charges for drop-off, pickup, or wait. Find them at makeawaydumpsterrental.com. Mangiabella Italian Goods. If you love Italian food like we do, then you need to swing over to Mangiabella Italian Goods at 22560 Lorraine Road in Fairview. This family-run business knows that a happy belly is a full belly. From vintage homemade pasta to meatball subs the size of your head, you will be in a food lover's paradise. You've tried the rest, now have the best. MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. My 22 Veterans. September is Suicide Prevention Month. Veterans tend to be at a higher risk for suicide, and unfortunately, medications and doctor visits aren't always the answer. My 22 Veterans helps connect veterans to alternate therapies, such as art, equestrian, and aviation programs. If you're a veteran looking for different options, or if you'd like to support their work by making a donation, visit my22veterans.org today. My Medicare Network. My Medicare Network is a local insurance agency that specializes in helping seniors compare and enroll into a Medicare insurance plan. They represent all major carriers, which will save you time and frustration. And when working with My Medicare Network, you'll be confident you selected the best plan for your needs. Nancy's Main Street Diner. They only prepare your meals with the freshest ingredients. The dishes are made to order as they never use heat lamps, and they take no shortcuts whatsoever. They're located at 426 Main Street in Grafton, Ohio. Nancy's Main Street Diner is your choice for all 3 daily meals. Pope Fitness. It's a gym for everyone. Don's road to being a World's Strongest Man finalist gave him a deep appreciation for fitness at every level. He created Pope Fitness to help every individual reach their goals and maintain the motivation it takes to get there. Visit them today at 33789 Center Ridge Road in North Ridgeville. Pristine Clean, Ohio. Pristine Clean has one goal: to be the best power washing company in Northeast Ohio. The commitment began in 2008 when owner Ken Wilson founded the company, which has since grown into one of the largest locally owned and operated power washing companies in the nation. Give them a call at 440-209-3780.
So Dom has officially said, let's get this bread, and it's time to get the second half underway here. Week 10 of the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. The Wadsworth Grizzlies leading 35-0 right now over the Bears. And again, it's been some interesting weather. That rain's been off and on. We've gone from a drizzle to downpour, and like I said, it's definitely made that field slick. We've seen the football be slick a few times, certainly some misplaced passes, fumble, a couple really just plays that have been a little bit sloppy out there. But aside from a few sloppy plays here and there, the Grizzlies have been very efficient offensively. Will Stack leading the way. Kyle Figueroa, the running back, has been impressive on the ground as well. And it's going to be the offense of the Grizzlies back out on the field. Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and Brandon Soder here. Final half this season of regular season action. Two returners back deep to return at the 5-yard line. Sasha Sunyeverich, the kicker, sitting this one high up in the air. It hangs up, fielded at the 7. Some room up the middle to run, bursting through some space, breaking off one tackle, keeping those legs moving. Past the 35-yard line there was Nathan Metzger, and brought down at the 36-yard line. And here comes Stack and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm interested. You got the running clock here going. I wonder how long you keep your starters in. I mean, 35-0 lead. At the half, you take your starters out. Not the most ideal thing in the world. You usually score, want to score one more touchdown or drain some clock, then take them out. I've been in this situation before, and there's times where we've been up by a large lead where we don't even have our pads on in the second half. So right now, you keep your starters in.
Well, running back, it's the same. Receiver, it's the same. Sorry to cut you off, but it does look like they have made a change at quarterback, making sure that Stack is healthy at least. Figueroa on the run. Penalty marker comes flying in from the back judge and lands at the 40-yard line. So this one looks like it's going to be coming back, but taking the snaps at quarterback is number 21, Ryan Stoops.
Yeah, it's great anytime you have a number 21 there at quarterback. I'm trying to think of a famous quarterback that wore a number that high. It was definitely in college.
See, up until recently in the NFL, I don't even think you could wear one that high.
No, there's someone who did.
I'll tell you what the highest number I saw was. That was when Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner wore 98.
That was weird. I never understood that. That never made sense to me why he wore 98.
Why not? Why 21?
Because it looks weird. Both look weird.
Of course, Devin Brown, who is the backup quarterback for Ohio State right now, wears number 33.
And Teddy Bridgewater wore 50 for preseason for the Lions.
Receiver in motion here, following that penalty. Here's the handoff. Figueroa bouncing around the edge. He has room to run. And there are penalty markers all over the place. There are two in the middle of the field, one on the near side. And I got to say, the guy on the near side, that was about the most aggressive I've ever seen a penalty marker just thrown on the ground. That thing bounced right back up off of the turf. So regardless of what call this is,
crack back block.
This one's definitely coming back against the Grizzlies because of the hold there in the middle and the crack back block, as you mentioned.
So what that is, they're running a pitch play or outside zone, and what you do is you put that he may have been offsides actually as well. That may have been what they called. But what you do is you put that inside wide receiver in motion, and he cracks back. I'm pretty sure you can still do that, but I think if you hit them kind of unnecessarily, they might throw some laundry on the field there.
So hilarious combination now with the running clock. We're down to 8 minutes and 50 seconds, and technically we have yet to run an offensive play.
That is a crazy stat. And I'll tell you what, the Grizzlies, who had really impeccable offensive drives throughout the entire first half, they just keep going backwards all the way back now, just outside their 10-yard line. Here a short throw, finding Figueroa. Figueroa turning upfield. And now there's a hat down on the field as the official throws that one down. Figueroa bursts into the open space. He's past the 40-yard line. Business decision to step out of bounds at the 30. But again, I did see that hat come down here on the sideline by the official. It looks like he threw it down, so wondering exactly what that was. But
just keeping his arm warm. We saw him earlier. It was the same ref that, really put all his effort he could into throwing that flag. You know, sometimes you talk about taking your moment as a player. You got to do the same thing if you're a referee. He's got an opportunity to get some good game film going here. And, you know, who knows? Maybe somebody picks him up later down the road.
You know, sometimes
he just dropped his hat, just flew off his head.
Yeah, so sometimes what officials do is when they throw in the penalty flag, then they have to drop the hat because they don't have anything left. Wondered if there's a penalty marker down somewhere, but no, hat just flew off somehow in the wind as he was running down the sideline on that play. So big play there for Wadsworth.
When I was an umpire, anytime a player left early and literally got to have to throw my hat on the ground, I hated it.
Pulling this one back, running to the outside, going to be brought down well behind the line of scrimmage there. So a nice defensive play there for North Royalton. And the rain has picked up again. I mean, this has just been off and on rain throughout this evening.
Yeah, this is heavy now. You can see it even if you're watching at home right along the track there. It's really, really starting to pour. So now you got to think, I know you got some of your backups in, but if you're Wadsworth, you know, maybe get all the backups in here. Don't want to risk getting your starters hit in conditions like this.
Well, Figueroa just wants to keep carrying the rock here at this point because every time he touches the football, it feels like it's going for big yardage. That time there now setting up 3rd and short on the upcoming play, and we have less than 7 minutes now remaining in the 3rd quarter. Getting back quickly to the line of scrimmage, handoff to Figueroa again. He's going to have plenty for the first down and brought down at the 10-yard line. And this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
I mean, there's nothing more we can say about Figueroa. This kid's just unstoppable. Anytime you get the ball in his hand, he's at least getting you 5 yards, and best case scenario, he's breaking it off for a long touchdown. He's just having his absolute way out there.
Another player that is putting his name into the mix of running backs. I don't know who's going to be on this list, guys. It's at a point where it could be anybody we've seen thus far.
Nice carry there. You saw a lot of sidesteps from Metzger, and then really brought down, had one man to beat, drug down inside the 5-yard line, moving quick here right now on this trip to the red zone, looking to punch it into the end zone again, going back to the well with Metzger, and on that carry, he's into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Grizzlies continue to add on to their lead, 41-0.
Yeah, even with the backups in, they continue to get work done. This is a good team here, Cole. Good teams find a way to put their subs in and then still score on the first team. We've seen plenty of teams do this before. I know I have, whether it's me as a player, me as even when I was coaching youth, you put your subs in and they can dominate a first string of a team. That's how you know you have a really deep unit. I mean, I know as a player, there's nothing that feels better when your backups are in, or if you're a backup and you're in, and you go against the first string, you continue to dominate.
Offsides against North Royalton there on that PAT. So would assume that Wadsworth's just going to take that kick, and
they're staying out there.
Yeah, they're going to stay out there. That one was up and good, so it was a made PAT, but looks like they're going to take this PAT again here in a moment. So that's a little bit strange.
My only guess is that it was encroachment and not just offsides. You know, a player was touched before the ball was actually snapped, because otherwise I have no idea why you come back and re-kick this. Or maybe Wadsworth sees that they're up this much. Get your kicker a second rep.
Yeah, I doubt it's the latter. It probably is the first one. This one, hold is up, and that one nearly blocked. But that sails up and through the uprights, and it's good, 42-0. Brandon's probably right there. It probably was encroachment, probably the touch initially there. But, again, that's one if you're a coach and you have the choice there. It appears like the staff did not. So then they had to re-kick it again. A reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinckleyroofing.com. So that drive there for Wadsworth, even though different quarterback in the game as Will Stack was out and Ryan Stoops came in, really they gave Figueroa the ball. He got him all the way down the field, and then Metzger finished it off. Dom wanted to give Figueroa a comparison earlier, a Steelers comparison, he said, and he did not do it. So an opportunity maybe now, since we probably won't see Figueroa the rest of the game.
So anytime we have like a strong running back, Steeler fans like to compare them to, if they're fast and strong to Willie Parker or Le'Veon Bell or Jerome Bettis. No. I got one that's before those and in the Jerome Bettis era.
We're going back to the 70s.
No, we're going
okay.
to the late 90s, early 2000s. He was a Lions running back as well as a running back coach in the NFL. Deuce Staley. I mean, it just physical, big legs. If you wrap him low, there's no way you're able to hold on. If you're high with him, he's just going to knock you to the ground, but he's also fast, too. Just a physical back. Again, he's not huge. It doesn't look like a left guard like Jerome Bettis does, but he still looks like a running back, but he has the physical attributes of just a beast, the way he runs. Almost like a fullback. He was the fullback for Tampa Bay back in the day. I'm forgetting the name right now on that Super Bowl team.
Neal?
No, Gruden was the coach. It'll come back to me here in a minute. It's another guy he reminds me of there.
So 1st and 10 now for the Bears. 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. That pistol set once again. Here's the carry. And not a ton of room there for the running back. That's number 21, Tarush Pandy, and looks like he's probably going to get some carries, as Miller was coming up a little bit limp on some of his runs earlier, and it appears like perhaps his night may potentially be shut down. And he's a guy who's had a really great career here for the Bears, an excellent running back, but again, wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him here the rest of the night. A run again for Panday.
Mike Allstott.
Yep. Name sounds familiar. Did not. I know exactly what he looks like too. It was kind of playing in my head, but I'm sorry to all the fullbacks out there. Sometimes have a tendency to forget them, of course, when we're going back in past history.
Well, you don't like the beautiful game. That's the problem with you, Cole, is you don't appreciate the beautiful game that is the fullback.
3rd and 10, Kenny, he gets hit as soon as he tries to release that one. Receiver comes back to the football. I'm not sure if he quite got that one in. Officials going to kind of look at each other here. And even if he did catch that, it's still going to be short of the sticks. Could be 4th down upcoming. They're going to say he did haul that one in right before it touched the ground, so did not. Doing a good job of getting the hands underneath it there and scooping it. So, but 4th and 4 now upcoming, and the Bears going to punt this one away again.
How many more weeks do you think we'd have to go before Dom starts dropping Marion Motley references? Like, how far back are we going to go in NFL history?
Oh, Deuce Staley and Mike Allstott aren't that far back. It's when we were all, kids and got our first experiences watching football.
This one punted away, going to take a hop at the 35-yard line and going to bounce favorably for the Bears all the way down close to the 20. And the offense of the Grizzlies will come back out on the field with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. And still the shutout is still on the board, intact right now for the Grizzlies.
I can start naming players from the early days of football, if you'd like me to.
I mean, we do have time.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a minute, but yeah, I mean, I can go back where like players had like the weird nicknames, where it was like, but like extremely like lawyer-ish, like first and last names. Mike the Ghost Smith.
Here's the handoff on this first play of this drive here, and a lot of fresh faces now out there on the field as you think Figuere's night's going to be done. Drew Jones, a lot of the experienced veteran players, really that offensive line, they're going to be done for the night as the postseason is right around the corner here as this clock continues to tick down quickly here for Wadsworth. Get your starters out of this one healthy. Stoops in the gun, running back to his right, 3 receivers off to the far side of the field. 1.5 minutes now remaining. 2nd and 8 from the 22. Handing this one off, looking for some room here along the near side, and no room to run there on that carry and throw down late. Again, that's just frustration there on that play for the big defensive tackle there, and Brendan Tabachnik.
I get it. You're frustrated, but you're also this close to getting your first defensive stop of the night, albeit against the backups, but still something you could have at least taken home, and you're going to give the Grizzlies more life to keep this thing going and likely now drag this thing into the fourth quarter. That's tough if you're the Bears.
Yeah, that it is going to continue to just move that ball forward there for Wadsworth. Cooper Gray, the sophomore running back, still in behind Stoops. Just thrown to the ground a moment ago. Does get the carry that time there, but just gets back to the line of scrimmage and brought down. So really don't have to run another play here in this quarter. Can let this wind down and move to the fourth with the Grizzlies leading this one 42-0. And it appears like they are going to let this one just run down. Go over to the sideline and then switch fields here in just a moment. So we're going to step aside into the third quarter here in the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. We'll be back for the start of the fourth in a few moments.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pulp North Olmsted. From wraps to bowls to smoothies and everything in between, this is the perfect healthy option for the person on the go. Stop in and taste for yourself at 27650 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Riley's Irish Bakery, the absolute best bakery and comfort food selection you will find on the west side of town. Located in the heart of Fairview, this incredible family-run business is your first, last, and only stop for the best eats. At Riley's Irish Bakery, they use the freshest ingredients to create classic Irish baked goods and savories. They are located at 22570 Lorraine Road in Fairview.
Start of the fourth quarter here in the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week here in Week 10, and all Grizzlies in this one. Running clock still. 2nd and 9 from the 38. Backups in there for the Grizzlies here at this point, and they're having a hard time moving the football here right now. Only a gain of 1 there on that carry. So 3rd and 8 now upcoming. Want to remind everybody that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. And of course, the Hinckley Roofing post-game show will wrap up this game as well with Brandon Soder. So make sure you don't go anywhere as we touch on the player of the game from this one here tonight.
Again, a couple of good candidates. And the overall dominant performance by Wadsworth, again, never got stopped on offense while all the starters were out there. So, again, make sure you stick around. If you're watching on YouTube, you've got somebody that you think is deserving, make sure you drop that comment. We're going to take everything into consideration before we name them at the end of the game.
So on that throw and catch and the run after the catch there, Carlos Inestroza was swung down right at the 48-yard line. There was a penalty marker that was thrown right around the 45 on the other side of the field. It's going to go against Wadsworth, so no first down for them. Instead, replay the down, but it's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's tough. They finally got a nice positive play. They've been trying to keep the ball on the ground, especially with it raining right now and with the younger players in there, just getting them some safe reps. But credit to North Royalton. They've really been able to stack the box and kind of stop that. And now Wadsworth, again, trying to kind of shooting themselves in the foot with that mistake there. It's going to be 3rd and very long. It's going to be really tough for the backups to convert here.
3rd and 20 to be exact following that penalty. Ball on the 29-yard line. Clock continues to tick down here at the moment.
Perfect opportunity for a fullback dive.
Well, going empty set here right now with the quarterback, so I don't think you're going to get your wish, but it is a quarterback draw. Actually decent blocking initially, but tripped up at the 34-yard line. So 4th and still very long upcoming. So we're going to see the Grizzlies special teams unit to punt this one away.
Maybe not a fullback dive, but, I mean, they kind of set it up. We could have had a fullback option there. That might have been fun. You know, throw them in on the jet sweep. Why not? Throw something different out there. I feel like Dom would love it.
I'll tell you what. I would love to be an offensive coordinator in the future because I have so many weird play designs that I'm like, there's no way anyone would stop this. Like, I just made this up in my head. I know it doesn't exist. There's no way a defensive coordinator is stopping this. And it utilizes the fullback, 2 fullbacks.
This one's punted away. Going to take a hop inside the 30 and going back to chase this one down. Interesting there for North Royalton. Absolutely going to be no room to run for Wasco. And that one just kept bouncing and rolling and felt like it could have easily been down inside the 5. Wasco did a good job tracking back to that one, but I think he maybe just misread where that ball was actually going because he was standing too far ahead and to the left of that football by about 3 yards on that initial return.
I don't blame him for picking that up. Try to get something to write home about, cap off the season with something that you can go back and brag to your friends about, put on your highlight tape. Give your team a little bit of a spark because there hasn't really been a lot to cheer about tonight. So, even though you don't start off with the best field position, don't discredit the kid at all for going for it.
So fair enough, I want to say this, that if Dom were an offensive coordinator, my gut feeling is it would look a lot like an Air Force, Navy, Army type of offense, those military schools in college and how they run. Obviously, I'd say Olmsted Falls maybe would have some plays mixed into Dom's playbook.
So funny enough, it would be more like Cleveland Heights where they run the pistol with the wings. But almost like what Baltimore does with the full house formation they did with their last offensive coordinator. Two fullback and a halfback, whatever you want to call them, but more H-backs to your left and right than a running back, true running back behind you. I'm a big option fan, but I like it in the shotgun. Cool, no one would be able to stop it. The old quad option.
Handoff up the middle, no room to run. Dom, I've already said what my perfect formation would be. 10 offensive linemen and a running back. Direct snap.
Under the center running back, though. Could you imagine having, everyone who's off the ball directly behind, like they have, a shoulder, on the center, and they're in 4-point stances, and the running back's real low? Oh, that's horrific.
So ball's on the ground. This one's loose, and the Grizzlies are going to fall on this one and recover, so they're going to be inside the red zone as they bring the offense out on the field. Want to remind everybody that this trip to the red zone that's about to happen here for the offense has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. Got to say, there's been so much conversation with the tush push in the NFL. And
the brotherly
and
shove is what Jason Kelsey calls it.
Yes, calls it the brotherly shove, but in general, what people had dubbed the tush push prior to him saying the brotherly shove, if you're getting 3 yards, 4 yards on each play with that, go out there and run it every single play.
Find a way to stop it.
Right. I mean, you could just run it over and over again and just keep getting first downs by getting a couple chunks of yards every single play.
If I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm like, oh, this is unfair, call the coach from New Zealand, call the All Blacks coach in New Zealand, the name of the national team there in New Zealand, most successful rugby team in the entire world, and say, how do I stop this particular scrum? That's what it is. It's a scrum. It's a rugby scrum. What do I do? What's the best method of stopping this? And then do that. And then, they're going to run boots eventually. That's fine. Figure that out later. But right now you have problem A. Solve problem A before we get the B, C, and D.
Yeah, there's yet to be a reason to go to B, C, and D.
Here's a run for Stoops. He has room to run. Breaks through a couple tackles, drops that shoulder into the end zone. Grizzlies continue to add on to their lead now, 48-0. So an opportunity to make it 49-0.
Good run there by the quarterback. Just found a lane, was able to kind of slip through. Didn't do anything crazy athletic, but he found his running lane. He was able to bounce off a couple of players and just kind of walk into the end zone. Nice to have the backup get in there and score as well, get some valuable experience for these guys, especially in this rain. Can't really replicate these conditions all that often. So getting some crucial playing time here for Wadsworth's backups.
Credit to the blocking there, and whistles blow this one dead before the PAT. So jumping off sides there, that one's definitely encroachment. Again, making contact there with the line too. So we're going to see this one re-kicked here in just a moment on this PAT, looking to add on to the lead. Have to say, Dom, I think maybe the best way to stop that play, like we've been talking about, I think the defensive line, they have to go low. But I think you bring your safety in and have somebody go over the top.
That won't do anything. All he needs is a half a yard half the time. What you're going to do is you're just going to fall on him. He's going to fall forward.
I'm meaning go over the top and hope that you jump past him and pull him back by the shoulders. I did actually see one clip of that. I think it was a high school game.
Not everyone. Oh, he body slammed
slammed him.
Yeah. Hit him with the Batista bomb.
I think that's about all you could do. And I know you love your Steelers references, but I'll say there was one guy who was good at doing plays like that, Troy Polamalu.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what you almost have to teach a safety to do. Can you dive over the line and pull the quarterback quarterback back.
And here's the thing, that probably won't work very often, if at all. But if you want the NFL to start taking a look at that play and wanting to prevent injuries, that's going to get their attention.
It will.
If you start sending safeties flying over the offensive line.
If the NFL star quarterbacks are basically getting body slammed going backwards, they're going to stop that.
You have a guy jump over the quarterback and then hits him with a Canadian a Canadian power bomb or a sunset bomb, a power bomb, whatever you call it. Yeah, the NFL is going to be like, yeah, we can't have Jamal Adams hitting Jalen Hurts with a Canadian destroyer.
I think that's the only chance you have of stopping it, truly.
And that'll stop it one way or the other. Either it gets banned or you actually stop the play from happening.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Getting all of our football talk in here. Under 5 minutes left to go in this one. Sent deep, 49-0. Opportunity to bounce this one around the edge, looking for some room to run. Decent little return there for number 19, Cameron Saul, but brought down at about the 25-yard line. Here comes the offense once again. 4.5 minutes left to operate. Again, really disaster struck for them. That slippery football caused some problems on the handoff, and fumble resulted in Wadsworth getting great field position, scoring again.
No, I wanna, if you guys don't mind, take the floor for a second here. It's senior night. Year didn't go the way you wanted. Mm-hmm. You lose 49-0. And, to the seniors, you had a great run. I know it sucks. You're not going to the playoffs. This isn't the way that you imagined it when you were 8 years old and you just got off in the high school game. They had a big win and you're excited. You have your jersey on and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take this team to the playoffs one day, and you're not able to do that. It breaks your heart. I was talking to my parents about a video of, we had a tradition, seniors get carried off the field. We lost to a school we should have blown out, and that wasn't the case. And I told my parents, every time I watch that video, it breaks my heart, because at the very end, my dad says, I'm sorry, and that's when the video ends. And every time we're on a senior night and that home team loses, you guys can tease me for this, but it makes me teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Because I think 90% of these kids on the field are never going to play football again. Ever. You're never going to put pads on. You're never going to put cleats on. You're not going to have tape on. You're not going to have those camp days where you're sitting on the bench talking to your friends and you're tired of two-a-days, which I know they don't do anymore. But you're not going to have those anymore. And I know it sucks. I know it's you're going to want to forget the season you had. But if you're a senior, listen to this. Don't forget the good times. Always remember the times of what made you fall in love with the beautiful game.
Absolutely. This one thrown down the field. Actually a really nice delivery on that throw there from the quarterback, number 12, Connor Monyak. Found his receiver down the middle of the field, hauled in well by Matthew Jadasic. And now a first down, moving this one past the 50-yard line. Under 3 minutes left to go.
Must have heard Dom's speech. That was one of the best throws we've seen from Royalton all day. It was beautiful. Beautiful lead up. Great play.
3 receivers off to the far side of the field out of that pistol set. Going to be a carry up the middle, trying to bounce out to the left-hand side. Room to run, and tripped up from behind past the 45-yard line down to the 43. Have to say, obviously, really nice words there from you, Dom. Absolutely. For everybody that we got to see we saw some homecomings, we saw some senior nights. We saw a lot of good moments here throughout this fall. Pleasure calling a lot of games, but again, for all those guys, it's the harsh reality, though, with this sport of football that we love to call, we love so much, right, is that it's one of those sports where after you finish playing competitively, you really don't get the opportunity of playing it again, where former college soccer player, I have the privilege to get to still play in some men's leagues and things like that. This is a different type of sport where you can't really do that.
No, you just said that, but Brandon talks about he plays racquetball or he's played tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, sports did you do in high school, Brandon?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but you get to keep doing that, right?
Yeah.
You played soccer. I never played soccer in high school.
Right.
But we just talked about me possibly playing with you, and I talked about my time playing. I'm never going to play this game again. You guys love the game and never really had a chance to play at a high school level. Maybe you played at youth, but if you never play when you play because you're doing something else, whether it's tennis, whether it's soccer, you'll never play it, right? You can play flag, and I know you have before.
Yes.
But I know you have before, but that's the reality of this game. If you're like, oh, I was too small, I didn't get to play, you never get to play again. It's harsh. You don't even get to play in the backyard to even replicate it. So it's such a great game. It's a dangerous game, but such a great game that only few of us get to play for a long time, and few of us get to even play at all. And that it's so harsh. But that's also what makes this game in these moments just so important. And I think it's part of the reason why here in America we love this sport so much. Because once it's gone, and all you have is the memories and the moments that you and your friends can share.
Yeah, absolutely. Played a turkey bowl before. Got to play tackle. You know?
Turkey bowl.
Helmets and shoulder pads aren't on, but we were tackling. Right.
Throw on the old Ness jersey. I used to always put on the old Tyler Palco jersey in the old pit days.
Turkey bowl is about as close as you're going to get again. But I'll tell you what, anybody as you get older, if you play in the turkey bowl and there's some physical tackling, right, not padded up or anything like that, then you're going to feel it the next day.
I'm more sore after a turkey bowl than I am on an actual football game.
This thing, an actual football game, you're ready, you're conditioned. I am in no shape to do anything on Thanksgiving morning, much less
rain's getting in here.
Play a full contact football game like you psychos. Whoa.
So a high snap there. Going to be the kneel down there to finish off this game. And the shutout for the Grizzlies coming on the road to Serpentine Chevrolet Stadium here in North Ridgeville and winning this one 49-0, staying perfect in the Suburban League. And it's been a good season for the Grizzlies, a team everybody needs to watch out for come the postseason. For North Royalton wraps up the year for them. And I want to thank everybody who have watched and listened to our broadcast throughout this regular season. Of course, hard to believe that the regular season has wrapped up for us. Another successful year of us getting to stream here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Of course, something we look to continue to do here in the future. And, of course, been a really good year, but we're not done yet, of course, covering things. Make sure you pay attention to KeonSports.com. A lot of written articles going to be up still after all the games this week. You're going to see everything in the postseason on the website as well, and you're still going to see highlight videos going all the way through the state championships, all 7 divisions as well, beginning of December. But that being said, of course, we have our playoff podcast that will be starting. Of course, Vince, myself, Dom, and Brandon going to be on that one as well. So make sure you tune into that. Of course, for all the Wadsworth supporters out there, we're, of course, going to have to talk about your team as well as we roll into the postseason. So you're going to want to check that out. Before I step aside and Dom steps aside and we toss this to the Hinckley Roofing postgame show with Brandon Soder. Dom, any final thoughts here on this regular season that we've had?
Cool. Brandon, it was a pleasure. We had a lot of fun. This is, I think, the most fun we've had all year. Some of the best games we've had all year. Mm-hmm. We've got to cover some of the teams that we love to cover and some new teams as well. Yep. North Royalton is the first time I got to really come here. Holy Name was the first. Normandy, Wadsworth, so many others. It was a pleasure. It was a blast. I mean, we had a lot of viewers throughout this year. We had so many great moments. Guys, thank you. Thank you for having me along. Vince, I love you. Thank you. To the boss man himself. But if you're a North Ridgeville fan and you're so happen to listen, I will be covering them throughout the playoffs. Wherever they go, I will go. Theoretically, I will be there wherever they go. If they're in Columbus, maybe not. But, I will follow them around. So if you're a supporter of them, we'll talk about that in the podcast. But thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast all year.
And just to reiterate, Dom will continue following the North Ridgeville Rangers around until he's able to secure one of those hats. So if you guys want Dom off your tail, I highly suggest hunting one of those down and getting it to him.
I need the hat.
Yeah, if we can get memorabilia from about each band, maybe each cheerleading group as well for Dom. I mean,
pom-poms.
If you could get pom-poms, a hat, some cowboy boots, I mean, you would be all fitted out for next year, of course, which would be fantastic. Maybe we can work on that here in the offseason. But for myself, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, going to sign off. We're going to step aside here for a few moments, and then Brandon Soder will be back with you to talk about the Keon Sports Game of the Week, Player of the Week. And, of course, nothing coming up for us next week broadcast-wise, but make sure to pay attention to the podcasts. Everybody, thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back in a few moments.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Roasted Coffee Shop. Family owned and operated, a former military man and his paramedic wife followed their dream to open the top coffee shop in Ohio. It is the tastiest coffee in town, and customers keep coming back for more. Visit them today to grab a cup at 27093 Bagley Road in Olmsted Falls. Maria Lano Photography. Maria Lano is a creative photographer that tells your story. She is there to document the love that you have for your family, those moments in time, or milestones that your children will share with their own family someday. Whether that means chasing the golden sunlight on the lake or family cuddles on location, she wants to tell your story. Her goal is for you to look at these photos on your walls and remember how magical you felt in that exact moment in time. You can find out more by emailing her at marialanophotography@gmail.com. Sedmac Insurance, an independent insurance agency who has served Northeast Ohio for over 50 years. Contact Jeff Romancic today at 440-777-7744 to learn more about what they can do for you. Graffiti Warehouse. Visit them at www.graffitiwarehouse.com for the very best in high school sports merchandise. If you're passionate about your favorite team, then stop by the warehouse and pick up the proper swag to support them. Spins Bowl. Spins Bowl has 36 lanes and a large redemption arcade with a full bar and restaurant. It is truly a good time for the whole family as it has something for everyone, young and old. Swing by their website for more info at spinsbowl.com. TNT Construction. They provide residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Look them up today at tntcleveland.com. Village Coffee and Creamery. From the founders of Nancy's Main Street Diner comes Village Coffee and Creamery. They have everything from dessert, lunch items, and coffee to ice cream and every kind of sweet treat you could think of. They are located at 486 Main Street in Grafton. ECI Photography with David Chapinski. ECI is all about sports photography, sports portraits, and senior images. ECI has been around since 2015 and has captured in-game images for parents and athletes, from Pee-wees to high school, universities, Cleveland sports like the Cleveland Charge and Monsters, as well as the pros with the PBA and the Cleveland Guardians. He is always right in the action on the sideline. He offers many options, but the most popular is the 20 in-game images delivered right to your phone within 48 hours after the completion of the game. Sports portrait sessions include fog, lights, and a minimum of 45 minutes in front of the camera. Last but not least, he's been shooting for Keon Sports for the past 3 years. Contact him at eciphoto15@gmail.com, by phone at 440-396-2790, or through his website at www.eciphotography.biz. Scalpers Bar and Grill. Since 1994, Scalpers Bar and Grill has offered guests from all over Northeast Ohio the hottest in entertainment options. Over 20 big screens, great drink prices, and an array of video games, a private basement room, and an extensive menu, Scalpers offers something for everyone. Their legendary menu features award-winning wings, mouth-watering burgers, and fresh, crisp salads. Now patrons can enjoy these great tastes from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. Stop in at 5718 Mayfield Road in Lyndhurst.
And folks, welcome into the Hinckley Roofing post-game show for the Week 10 Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Folks, I figured instead of seeing my face tonight, it felt more appropriate to yield the camera to the seniors as they share their final moments on the field with their friends and family. As again, last time, a lot of these kids are going to see a football field, at least play competitively. So again, it felt like more appropriate to kind of yield the time to them. But folks, if you watch this game, you know it was all Wadsworth Grizzlies. They walk away with the win 49-0 over the North Royalton Bears, and really right out of the gate, unstoppable performances by both quarterback Will Stack, running back Kyle Figueray. This offense could not be stopped. It wasn't until the fourth quarter when the backups were in that the North Royalton Bears were even able to force a punt. So really, Wadsworth firing on all cylinders, heading into playoff action. They've got to feel really good about the performance that they put out there tonight. That said, I mentioned 2 key players, and somebody's got to win it. The final Hinckley Roofing Player of the Game for our broadcast this year was very, very close. Will Stack, 13 of 18, 150 yards in the air, 2 passing touchdowns, added 1 on the ground. But at the end of the day, the team conferred, and we decided Kyle Figueroa deserves the honor tonight. 14 rushes, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was constantly able to keep this Wadsworth offense moving tonight. So congratulations to Kyle Figueroa, our final Hinckley Roofing Player of the Game for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. So, folks, as you know, we are done with our broadcast for the year, but that doesn't mean we are done with high school football coverage. Not even close. The playoffs are coming up next week, and we will have you covered once again. Our writers will be out in full force. We will have all the big games covered for you. If you're a Wadsworth fan watching this tonight, we will definitely be covering them, keeping up on them. So make sure you are still going to KeonSports.com for all your Northeast Ohio high school football action. It is the only place where you can get all the scores, all the updates, the most information you can find in one source. You're not going to have to sit there every Saturday morning Googling, 100 different news sites and Twitter articles. Everything will be right there for you all throughout the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast today, we will also be bringing back our playoff preview podcast for high school football. Last year, we debuted that with Vince McKee, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and myself. Had a ton of fun with that, so we're absolutely bringing that back again this year to keep you updated on all of the high school football playoff action. So make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Again, you find all of our games on YouTube. You can watch back any game that we've done this year or last year back on our YouTube page, so make sure you reference that. And then, of course, our podcast will be dropping on that YouTube channel as well. So make sure you subscribe so you are notified anytime that we go live. On top of that, last thing, folks, at SportsKey1 is our Twitter page. If you just need a quick follow, something to get all of your sports information, updates throughout games, at SportsKey1 is your follow. That's the Keon Sports Twitter page, and we will keep you updated at all times. Last thing before we get out of here, I want to thank North Royalton, and really I want to thank all the schools that hosted us this year. As always, we were welcomed in with open arms. We were taken care of everywhere that we went this year, even with a couple of scheduling snafus. We had schools really, kind of go above and beyond to help us out. So we appreciate everyone that was willing to host us this year. And again, our 3rd game in this particular stadium, and we are always treated very well at Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium. But again, thank you for all the schools that continue to support us. We're happy to come out and continue to do our broadcasts, and we'll absolutely be back doing this again next year. And then finally, just want to thank the team. Of course, want to thank Vince McKee, our founder, our CEO, for getting this all set up and keeping things coordinated. But then, of course, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, for running a great show this year, a great broadcast for 10 straight weeks. And, it's going to feel weird. Friday night's going to feel a little bit more empty, but still we're all going to be out there doing something. We're all going to be covering high school sports in one way or another, just not in the broadcast booth. But rest assured, we'll all be back next year, folks. Thank you again for sticking with us through all 10 weeks of the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. For the final time, signing off for Cole McDaniel and Dom Clary, I am Brandon Soder. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks.